So, continue ta sa number 16. Pride in quality. Time flies so fast that we tend to hurry in everything we do. We lose our focus and do things haphazardly just for the sake of completion. We should always seek quality in our work. The product of our labor speaks our attitude towards life in general. Feelings don't think. We usually react compulsively to things around us because our feelings, before we can even think, an action has already been done. Everything starts in the mind. If we think before we act, chances are we will behave with contempt as we have analyzed the process before the action. 18. Guilt kills. Guilt kills. One of the underlying reasons for depression is guilt. It is a feeling of shame and self-blame. If a guilt feeling remains unresolved, it can be turned inwards, thus resulting in self-inflicted harm. 19. Hang tough. Sometimes we feel that there is no end to our miseries, and we feel helpless and hopeless. No matter how dim life seems to be, there's always hope. In every problem, there is a solution. Every problem is a learning experience that would make us make us tougher in dealing with life challenges. 20. You are your brother's keeper. In TC, each one is responsible for the other members of the community. The failure of one is a failure of all. This gives all the residents a sense of responsibility in shepherding others. The success of the program reflects how one cares for the other. Theme. Concept of the day. It refers to a word of saying that will serve as a guide for the community to ponder upon in relation to their day-to-day interactions and behaviors. It is elaborated during the morning meeting by some members of the community to emphasize its relevance and how it can stimulate the residents' thoughts and help them change their behavior into something positive. It can also be taken from the unwritten philosophies. Meditation. The visualization meditation is used to help an individual establish and peace by contracting his inner wisdom. It is done 1 to 2 hours a month. The intellectual component. The intellectual component responds to the natural human characteristics of yearning for knowledge to attain the higher level of understanding. A well-structured and well-implemented intellectual component is an important factor in establishing a therapeutic community for the residents. It helps the residents restore their self-esteem as their minds become open to ideas and their intellect does not cease to feed on a free and open interchange or opinion. The objectives of intellectual component in the TCM program are as follows. First, to actualize the intellectual skills of the residents. Second, to teach the residents how to think and delay impulses. To guide the resident on the right way of thinking and how it affects his feelings and behavior. Seminars are activities in TC that provide intellectual stimulation hours and seek personal involvement among the residents. It is done 1 to 2 hours once a week. It is a way of providing information uh, Many information, improving resident speaking and writing abilities and enhancing their listening abilities so as to understand all the information being presented. The type of seminars conducted as follows. Discussion, open format and allow for group participation. Data sessions, giving specific information and games. Games, mind expanding activities to elicit through creativity and imagination. And seminar series on varied topics. Debate. The debate is introduced to provide the resident the opportunity to learn how to reason, apply, and put together arguments in a logical manner. It is done 1 to 2 hours once a month and involves 20 to 30 students and a facilitator. It is also an exercise on how to listen and formulate ideas and demonstrate a broader understanding of certain issues. It gives the participants certain insights on others' opinions, which may be opposite to their own. Conducting a procedure on conducting debate. Here are the guidelines and procedures in conducting the debate. Divide the group into two according to the danger of defending upon the topic for debate. Assign the group for pro and the other as con. Choose the first speaker for each group. Each group is given 5 minutes to gather their thoughts on the issue. Each speaker is given 2 minutes. The pro group is first to give their opinion on the issue for 2 minutes. Rebuttal for 2 minutes is allotted for the con group. The exchange of opinion is allowed for a few minutes more. Once the majority has spoken, the facilitator will switch the stand so much to the pro will now become the con and vice versa. After the activity, the facilitator will process how the group felt when they have to defend an issue which is contrary to their beliefs, and if they could see the reasonableness of the others' arguments. What have they learned from this activity? Vocational and survival components of therapeutic community. The development of vocational and survival skills starts at a substantial value to the individual. It aims is not only to dictate or beginning of performance in job function in the TC community, which skill confine residents, but also to challenge them to learn vocational for the re-entry to the community. Vocational rehabilitation helps the individual to become less dependent, adapt himself, and become more independent by making positive changes. An individual's attitude is relevant to his development in area of vocation and occupation. It speaks of his adaptability and flexibility to the different tasks and functions. It will predetermine how he will later on perform in the hierarchical ladder. The development of skills is inseparable. Resulta sa job function and hierarchical structure. Job functions or work assignments are arranged in hierarchy according to seniority, individual progress, and productivity. These include conducting all house services such as cooking, cleaning, kitchen service, minor repairs, serving as apprentices, and running all developments, conducting meetings and peers encounter groups. The objectives of job function and therapeutic community are 1. To develop the right attitude of the resident towards work. 2. To enhance the capability of the resident in their day-to-day tasks with utmost pride. The TC operates in a similar fashion to a functionable family with a hierarchical structure of older and younger members. Each member has a defined role and responsibilities for sustaining the proper functioning of the TC. There are sets of rules and community norms that the members upon entry commit to live by and uphold. Departmental meetings are conducted weekly for assignment of tasks which will last for 1 week on a rotation basis within the department. Each team will be assigned one expeditor to monitor the job function. Job rotation will normally based on the progress, performance, and capability of each resident. Promotion or demotion can happen during the process. Organizational hierarchy of the therapeutic community. 1. To create an organized structure and an efficient system of program implementation. 2. To foster the feeling of empowerment and self-sufficiency among residents. 3. To improve the line of communication between personnel and residents. 4. To promote a self-sufficiency utilizing the residents who possess a variety of skills. Procedures and guidelines of organizational hierarchy of therapeutic community. Here are the 1. The senior member of the staff, usually the director, identifies the counselors coming from the staff personnel. As soon as the counselors were identified, the residents of the community will submit applications for certain desired position as indicated in the hierarchical structure. 3. The applicants will be interviewed by the staff, director, IWDO, chief escort, and custodian. 4. After the interview, selection of applicants for key positions, coordinator and department head, is done using sociometric pointing. The crew member will assign as per assessment of the IWDO, chief escort, and custodian. 6. New residents will be assigned automatically at the housekeeping department for 1 month for orientation purposes. Functions of the different positions in the hierarchy. The following are the positions of roles and their function within the therapeutic community arranged from highest to lowest. Pinakauna, coordinator / mayor / senior resident. Padung na siya mulaya. Siya ang positive role model. Na siya role model siya, deals with the attitudes of the resident and act as a member of the panel during the haircut and addresses the resident in general meeting. The leader of a team assigned to oversee a specific department, kitchen department, responsible for reporting of job changes and recommendation, cutting off of learning experience. Assigned as coordinator on duty on the day and delegates tasks to be covered for the day. Investigating and booking. Encourages residents to use behavior shaping tools. Responsible for overseeing that each team works efficiently. Supervises the overall function of the department in the TC facility. Reports to staff any incident that is not in the boundaries of a resident to deal with. Carries out any given task that staff member assign him or her. In charge to disseminate instruction given by the director and staff through coordination with co-coordinators. Serve as liaison between resident and staff. Ang ikaduha, coordinator on duty. Not part of the whole hierarchical structure, each coordinator take turns to become coordinator of the day. Yan trabaho, he or she is designated as coordinator of the day to conduct inspection in cells, kitchen, and other areas where residents are allowed together with the staff on duty and the chief expeditor. Delegates tasks to other coordinators, under direct communication with the chief expeditor. Must always be aware and record all incidences of the day to the logbook. Must have a direct link with staff on duty. Responsible for disseminating information coming from the staff or director. Elevates or validates different incidences. 6. Staff acknowledgement. Chief expeditor. Vice Mayor. Responsible for managing the daily function and activities of the community. Delegates other responsibilities to the assistant chief expeditor and monitors every activity. Oversees the schedule of the day. Communicates with department heads in execution of job function. Communicates with coordinator of the day or lay on an hourly basis. Assistant Chief Expeditor. Responsible for execution of directives from the Chief Expeditor. Morites ni siya. Setting report ni Chief Expeditor. Supervises the activity inside the dormitories. Monitors overall function of the different departments and reports to the Chief of all incidences. Facilitates department head meetings in the absence of their Chief Expeditor. Job changes and requests. Department head conducts departmental meetings before job function. Delegates specific tasks to team members and monitors individual conduct. Monitors participation of members to activities of the program. Morning meetings, seminars, and group sessions. Checks attendance and whereabouts of team members. Department head attends department heads pre-evaluation meeting regarding job changes. Recommends, grants, or denies team members in-house requests in the department head meeting. Conducts post-evaluation to residents regarding the result of the request. Screen team members' request. Last is department crew. Responsible for carrying out tasks, duties, and responsibilities of their concerns and departments. Marag panaguro ni last nga topic. Ako lang isunod ang nasa module sa tama.